No, I mean, I think it was largely expected that he would be convicted, not entirely across the board. I think there was always going to be doubt about the genocide conviction for the municipalities outside Srebrenica. But certainly, I think because he was such a public figure, he presented himself as the leadership throughout the war, then there was a large expectation that the line of responsibility would have to come back to him. And of course, he was a member of a three-person presidency, and two other members of that presidency have already been convicted for various crimes in the same court. So in that sense, I think, yeah, no one is too surprised by the outcome today.
It wasn't a given as well because it's also a legal question, which is somebody's statements. How much do you hold them responsible for actions undertaken by others?
Certainly. I mean, I'm not a criminal lawyer, so I wouldn't want to go too far into that. I'm a criminologist. Certainly, there were a lot of statements that the prosecution brought forward in order to link him to these events. But there's also the totality of the events as well. The fact that a number of the crimes that were committed in such an organized fashion, such a systematic fashion, and so it's not just what someone says, but it's the position that they hold and the actions that they take in the wake of particular crimes that took place. So the lack of punishment and, in fact, the rewarding of some of the people further down the chain that were involved in these crimes, I think can be taken as being indicative of some level of intent. And I think the kind of ability to foresee the crimes that come from particular plans being implemented, as well as the actions afterwards that reward the people in taking part in those crimes, all kind of add up to a strong sense of individual criminal responsibility here.
Andy Aitchison, everybody remembers that before he could be actually before they could actually reach a verdict, the former president of Serbia, Slobodan Milosevic, died in jail, so there was never a verdict in that case. And some were saying, the case is a little too ambitious. They should have had fewer charges against Radovan Karadzic, the fear being that they wouldn't be able to get a proper closure in this case. Did they do the right thing?
I mean, I suspect the verdict shows that, and of course, the verdict is a verdict in the first court, and this is very much likely to be appealed. I understand that Peter Robinson, who has been assisting Karadzic with his judgment, is currently looking forward to going through about 2,600 pages of the judgment to work out on what basis this can be appealed. But I think actually, so the prosecution have succeeded in that sense. But for other people, I think they will look on this as being too narrow, that there are crimes that have been excluded from this. At the end of the day, the prosecutors have to formulate a strategy that says we will take forward the cases that we're most likely to be able to prove. There are efficiency questions, lots of other things that don't necessarily come down to justice. And I know that people are talking about the mass grave at Tomashica, which is related to the Prijedor charges in the indictment, and that's something that, because of when the mass grave was excavated, it's not been properly included in the case here. So I think the prosecution they've taken a broad-ranging set of crimes, and they've covered a large number of municipalities, but in a sense that fits with the fact that they are looking right at the top of the political hierarchy in the emerging Republika Srpska as it was then.